Hey everyone, welcome back to Last Ditch. I thought I would cover just the very basics of garden design today because I think this is something that people struggle with. Even seasoned gardeners, I spent my early career, one of my early careers was as a landscape gardener, and I saw firsthand how just a little bit of design, a little bit of thought before planting something can go a really long way and just avoid a lot of expensive mistakes. Even on a small scale, it helps to plan ahead. So, what I would do first is get a scrap piece of paper and just roughly sketch out the kind of big features in the landscape that you currently have. And I would include any large trees or shrubs. And yeah, again, really just looking for what are the biggest, most dominating things that I have to kind of work around. What are the elements I already have that are going to be important to consider to have as your starting point. So here I'm just kind of making this drawing up as I go along, but demonstrating the idea of filling in the larger features. So I'm putting in a few trees in this garden bed over to the right, and have also drawn in some shrubs. A really important thing I think to think about in all garden design is focal points. So you'll see here with these large features that I'm adding in as kind of these existing features, they're fairly dominant in the landscape design, and I'm thinking of these as focal points, especially the large trees. And these are just things that your eyes are naturally drawn towards, and I think it helps create an interesting landscape to look at as your eye is kind of led around. Another important thing I think is really crucial to sketch out is just roughly where is the most sun hitting and at what angle in the day. So this is, again, just making it up as I go along, but I'm putting here from 12 to 5 p.m. between these two dotted lines is really where the most intense sun is. And this can help me start to think about, well, what are the plants that would do best in that really sunny area, and what would do best in the shady area. So here I start sketching in some smaller shrubs. And you'll notice that, first of all, I'm doing smaller sizes towards the front of garden beds and larger sizes towards the back. I would think of this both in terms of width and also height, is that the larger and taller items should be against a fence or towards the back, or even in some cases the middle, like this little island I'm drawing in here. I'm creating a new garden bed that's circular. I planted a tree, kind of a medium-sized tree in the middle, and then I've got some smaller shrubs that I'm putting in around it. And then I'm even sketching in some even smaller little maybe perennials that I would put in between those shrubs. So in terms of design, I think it's helpful to start from largest to smallest items so that you can get a sense of the spacing and making sure that there's enough actual space between all of the plants that you're trying to plant. There is a lot more to garden design and thinking about gardens, of course, but I thought I would just kind of share these tips as ways that can get you started and trying to simplify things at first. Because again, even with seasoned professionals, people who've been doing it for a very long time, and I fall into this trap as well, is I can quickly overcomplicate things and really start to be kind of playing whack-a-mole with design problems rather than taking a step back and just going, what are the biggest pieces? How can I design from those large patterns, those large details down into smaller details? Thinking about where the most sun is going to be and the shady spots. You can, of course, also be thinking about temperature, the amount of moisture that's falling. All of those things are really crucial as well. But I think the focal points, the existing features, and the sunlight, and then designing from larger detail down to smaller are really good starting points when you're thinking about garden design.